Right. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, how's everyone doing? Hold on one sec. What? Sorry. Just as I hit go, it's like, yeah, it's how we roll. It's how it works. Right. So Wednesday morning, 15th. Month is half over already. It's amazing. I feel like we just started. Um, so some pretty decent movement. Again, we're seeing reversal in the pound, right? Their data came in at 10.1. Yesterday, we said that they were doing the 0.25 and they were holding. Today, and again, we thought that it was going to be a little bit higher. Again, I assumed that this would be like a 10.4. 10.1, basically that's a big stab. That's a big stab of weakness right there. And we're seeing it across the board. Look at the euro pound down, up 64 right now. That's a big thing there, right? And again, that's a year-over-year number, so it's not necessarily as important, but that's what people seem like they're focusing on. Again, you're seeing massive movement in the pound dollar because again, we are seeing dollar strength. Pound yen 68 is not horrible, but euro pound 66 on a percentage basis is quite a large amount, right? So, one sec. That's a big one. And then follow that up with the retail sales numbers. Now, the retail sales numbers, they were awesome. There was a bit of an adjustment last time showing that they weren't as bad. But here's the thing. They're big, which means, again, the Fed, there's no reason for the Fed to slow down. And this is what I talked about yesterday. Um, you know, basically, I mean, no other way to say it. Um, Eventually, are we going to hit a point where this becomes a problem? Right? I mean, right now the spending's still there. Everything's looking great. We know they're going to keep raising it. We know eventually there's companies are laying off, right? We know eventually there's got to be a point where these interest rates are really going to start hurting and again, it's going to trickle down but right now with the spending, we're not seeing that trickle down yet. So again, there's still more work to be done and more room to raise. So again, this data today is you look at this is like, wow, this is great. And it is. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's over double on core retail. And again, not quite double on retail general, but the core number was awesome. And even manufacturing, it's negative, but it's barely negative, right? Okay. Sorry. Um, we're still trying to wait to hear Reese's final diagnosis. Um, And then he was supposed to have an orthodontist appointment today, but obviously he potentially could have mono, so you don't really want to stick your hands in somebody's mouth that has mono. So we moved it. That's stuff you got to do. But anyway, so again, great news. We're gonna get some comments from the ECB, coming up in a little bit, and then obviously the unemployment numbers tonight for the Aussie. So there could be some, again, very very strong dollar movement now, and then we could see some strong Aussie movement tonight. Nice little retrace time frame. Next 24 hours is we got tomorrow morning, our core PPI. And again, PPI is considered more important than CPI. Again, they're both showing that they're going up over before, right? And again, you can say, oh, it's slowing down. Yeah, I guess, but on a monthly basis, yeah, last time was great, right? We actually got a negative, but then again, we're going back up, right? And again, that one negative over here, I guess there's another one over here. Yeah, it's still moving kind of in the wrong direction. And then the core number, there hasn't been a negative. And the point one, you're like, yeah, it's slowing down, but now it's showing acceleration yet again. So could be another strong dollar based day. Um, in the overnight, yeah, property market, what do you got? No, not much over there, right? Trying to extend tariff waivers on some U.S. goods till September. Um, wow. Banks are full of beautiful, successful women with dating issues. Okay. I'm gonna have to troll Melissa with that one later, but all right. It's kind of crazy, right? Look, all these forms here. Yeah, I'm about to send that one to Melissa. Be like, yeah, hey, look, with dating issues. Yeah. Anyway, that's what we got going on next 24 hours. Like I said, the PPI is no, we're hurting on big news when that's considered one of the hottest news stories right now. I don't know, right? Sometimes they're hysterical, right? Yeah, I use Forex Factory for the comments and sometimes great stories. But efinancialcareers.com, I don't even know what to say on that one. Um, and yeah, it says China's winning the trade war with the US, but clash is avoidable. I'm not sure why she's sending that to me, but okay. Um, Ray DeLeo. Yeah, there we go. China's coming out on top. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about this one. I think it will. I think it will eventually escalate into military conflict unless the U.S. backs down. I don't think China's going to back down. Um, like I said, it's as far as international recognition goes, it's their land, right? Um, there's only very few people that actually acknowledge it. It exists, so it's a little different than the Ukraine. Um, let's see, production right here is growing at its weakest in 2 years as utilities crashed. Yeah, okay, I'm okay with that. Utilities cheaper. All right, let's go over to the charts. Let's start off with the VIX. All right, so the VIX. Yesterday, obviously, we knew we had some craziness. Big drop, big up, big down, big up, big down. And then today kind of leveled off. And again, what it should do is it should start to deteriorate a little bit. Now, all the indices are in the red. And again, based off the numbers, they're kind of, if the markets are truly like, yeah, we don't like higher interest rates, the interest rates are going higher. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And maybe, I'm going to say maybe, right? Maybe the market's going to start believe that they're going to keep raising interest rates. I'm not exactly sure why the market's still under this assumption that they're not going to raise anymore because they are absolutely going to raise more. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. But that's, hey, there you go. So again, VIX tearing down a little bit, but if things stay in the red, again, we should see it kind of move up a little bit. So that's not bad. Now the dollar obviously up, and you can see from 730. They kind of knew where it was going, but for the most part, this started kind of kicking in from last night, and you can see over here, like around the midnight time frame, and then right here around that kind of reversal time frame, that 5:30 in the morning. All it did was pull back, right? Europeans shot it right back down into an area basing. And again, actually, the green candle is the 5. So the 5:30 is really where it took off. Again, the 5:30 reversal is, most common time. Um, Now we've pushed up to 104. Again, 104 is a little bit high for the dollar, right? You see the Dixie up this high. You're like, should we be looking to sell? It's one of those things. We are high on the curve. And the question is, do you want to take this and be like, yeah, now's the time for a reversal? Yeah, I mean, there's obviously profit taking coming in at a round number like 104. We have seen this huge push up, and really since late last night, it's been up 90 cents. It's a big move. But I mean, the data today is kind of justifying a strong dollar. I mean, we blew retail sales out, right? That should drive the stock market, right? Earnings and things. Um, we know manufacturing is ticking down a little bit, which again, manufacturing ticking down, meaning we're not producing as much, but yet people are spending twice as much. That also kind of, is one of those things that's like, hey, listen, that could also increase inflation, right? Production down, people are spending more. That means we drag on supply. That could increase inflation going forward, not reduce it. So there's that. But overall, I mean, it's nice, it's great. I don't want to be like the super pessimist with it. This data is really great. It should absolutely help companies and drive earnings. And again, that should be overall good for the stock market. And again, the market just seems to be fluffing off like they just, we're not, they either have ultimate trust in the Fed, which would be surprising after, the last 20 years. But, it's one of those things. This is good, right? It is technically a good sign for the overall market. Things are in the red right now. The question is, does the market believe that the Fed will continue to raise interest rates? It's really what it comes back down to, because they are going to, right? They're not stopping. There's absolutely zero data to say that we should stop. It's slowing down, but we still got a room to go. And it's not hurting the consumer, so there's no reason to stop it right now. Commodities all in the red. One of the big ones here we talked about, again, was natural gas. It was up big yesterday. We expected to see it down today. Gold and silver, both down pretty decent. Again, we talked about, hey, listen, make sure you're short both those for the news release today. And again, they're all deeply in the red. Looking at the Aussie kind of tiered back. We talked about this level up here yesterday. We were sitting actually right here, and we said, hey, listen, there's an old zone in there. Look for some type of a turn and a reversal, potentially up here at 69.88. I kind of missed it by a little bit, right? But what it did was it kind of peaked up here at 1 o'clock and then kind of snuck back down, saying there's some sellers in there. And we talk about reversals. Let me remove this out of the way, right? Had you looked at this and said, hey, listen, there's your level of basing, right? There's your red, there's your green, there's your red, close below right there. There's your confirmation. And all it did was tear all the way back down again. We knew we had to clear until at least all the way down here. And there was your sell. Right now, this one triggered last night at about 6 o'clock. That's where we kind of got this, failure to go higher and then kind of break out the bottom side. But we were already looking for it. And again, nice push to the downside since that time. I mean, since that trade entered, it's 111 pips down. You can see the first kind of target level we talked about, the 68.95. Ding! Look at that. Happened to bounce right off that sucker. Right. This one ended up going through pretty quickly. Right. Dinged right off of that one, and then we started chopping back through this one. We talked about overall, we were looking for this one to come down to 68.57. So we're down there now. Right, we're pretty close. I kind of like where we're at. We know we have a kind of a larger zone here. We can remove this. 78 is out. This obviously is going way much lower. Let's take that off. Let's take that off. We'll leave that there right now. Let's drag this all the way down. Puts us in an interesting spot for the 23. If we can get it to there, right? If that's where our reversal is, I would say that there's a pretty decent little touch right there. Again, that could be a target for later on tonight. But with where we are low, I would say, again, we got a little Harry Potter trade here. Let's bring this one live again. Can I turn it live? Please select the date in the future. There we go. Bam, it's live again, so we'll know when it comes through. That's where we're kind of sitting right now. So, again, we are in an area of buyers. We have seen buyers step here in the past, right? That old Harry Potter's out. That was completed from before. Actually, this one, let's shrink this just a little bit. I'm going to take this down to there, right? I'm going to take it down to there. It kind of boxes off there with a little bit of a bounce. Yeah, it's fine. We can use that one. Actually, we're going to use that to there. We'll use it there. One of threes right there, but you can see how far this one has to move. All right, so that's where we're sitting right now. Let's see what we got. Yeah, got 20. We got 20 pips to break through it. I do kind of want to see this find a bottom sometime today. I don't want it to go too far, but I kind of like. I'd like this one. Maybe it rallies up right now. Again, U.S. session coming in. Maybe we get some profit taking from all this dollar movement, and we start to position maybe the Aussie for tonight for some disappointing news. But if we start to rally back up again, I think here's a great news-based trader. Again, even if we rally up in the day, this could be a nice little turnover. But there's a little bit of a confirmation from that level. Right there, and it happens to be where the 23.6 is. Oops, not that. Right there. So look for 69.03 as a potential. Again, if this comes up, look for it to turn and roll back down again. I would expect some buyers in here, and again, we know we got a little Harry Potter trade coming in right here to the south, 68.57. During the day, there's a lot of things. This obviously could come through and burst here through the next 30 minutes and then continue to drive down, which would be fine. Here is building permits, which is not a big deal, but we know we have data tonight, 7:30. So 1930, right there, right? There's where we got some news coming in. So again, if we maintain low, could be a nice little Aussie rally off that level. But if we rally back again with that dollar profit taking coming in, again, could also be a short trade. So got about 15 pips with a buffer on the bottom and about 27 on the top side. So both of them are in range, right? We'll see where either one of them go. And again, I'm good with this one if it breaks and starts to come through, right? Here's the other scenario. We end up coming down and starting to just really slow down, right? Because all the data's out. We start to slow down and then it starts to go down towards the end of the day. And then we hit the Asian session and then we do this, right? If we see this before news, oops, then something along those lines, right? So this is definitely a possible scenario tonight. And again, look at this. We know the news is coming out at 7:30, right? 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you get out there at 7 o'clock, you can look at this at 7 and look to see what it's doing. Is it starting to slow rally back up again? Could be a great telltale sign for a short. And again, that's how we trade news. But again, could we get the little Harry Potter trade? Could that Harry Potter trade kick in like over here? Sure, it absolutely could. Right? But ideally, if it comes in and it's just kind of holding here, isn't pulling back, like this may be what it looks like. right? So it still may be a Harry Potter trade. And again, Harry Potter trades are not really meant for, news, but it could do something along those lines. Drop base and then start to pull back ahead of time where you're like, oh, it's a trigger for Harry Potter. Could be, right? And again, they're not really designed. They're designed Harry Potters are designed more just for trending based trades, right? News is typically more based for reversals. So, but again, that would be a short term reversal. And again, if we grind up, right? If we just continue to grind up slow to here, then that is also a down trade for today. So I'm kind of looking for either of those two. Okay. All right. So Aussie yen. Now Aussie yen doesn't have as much movement. We knew we were in an area up top, and look at this. We kind of got front run, then hit it again, started the base, kind of hit it again and came back again. You're like, yeah, if you were in this trade, you're like stop loss, break even, not interested. There's one, there's two, there's three touches. This one even close. You had plenty of time to get out with just a little tiny bit of profit or even stop loss break even. There's zero reason why you should lose money on this trade. And all it did was just go just a bit higher. And again, we knew this area had been hit before. It wasn't the first time it had been hit. We had talked about here's three touches. It ended up breaking on 4. So again, we'll take this off because that is the trade from last week. Pull this and this. We don't need that now because we've obviously run through it. Again, look, we based right there again. Okay, the 23 is out. Let's take this, move this higher. Right, we'll mark that one off, and we'll bring this up. You can see nothing's really lining up. I guess the 61.8 is lining up down there for a bottom, but right now we're dealing with this. Right, we're dealing with all this. It's going to be hard to kind of chunk through. It's not a clean level that I want to take a buy off of. Right, I'm not interested in taking a buy off this level. Right, it's not a clean exit. Look, off, boom, boom. Most likely going to break, but it's backstopped, so it's not really a trade that I'm really necessarily looking for. Was a nice little continuation right there, though. Right. Yeah, it looks like it went down first before up. Hmm. There's a little hiccup there in the middle. How far do we need to go? Hmm. It's about 30 something pips. Hmm. It's all right. Like I said, I really like that. It's funny. It's marking off the balance of trade, but it's not marking off. Look, it's not marking these off, right? Hmm. So weird. Marking off. It's like, come on, did you forget about Aussie data? It's close. It's just a little bit after. So weird. Hmm. I don't know. There was a way that I could check. I don't know. Maybe I'm. I don't know. That would definitely be an Aussie one. That's a big one. This kind of we're looking at right now, right? As far as kind of potential setups go. Um, I'd really like the yen to kind of. I'd really like the yen to gain some strength out of this one. Um, hmm. I don't mind this for long. How far is that? I think this is gonna be too far. 60. We can do 60 in 12 hours. We need a lot of help from the yen though. So I'm not into taking a long off of this. Way too much room here. Been touched twice. I think it's going to fail. There is obviously this here, so that kind of ruins a Harry Potter. Although that's what it could bounce off of on the way down. How much risk is this? It's only 12. Hmm. I like this one bearish, but again, this is a great target. I'm not interested in taking it long, and I'm really concerned about this one to be able to take a little Harry Potter off of it. I think there's enough room. Let me see. Is there enough room? I could actually probably shrink that list a little bit when it comes down again. 3, 7. Yeah, three's right there. So there is room on this one. There is room. I just don't know if we're going to be able to get enough in there. I think this is going to, let's see, 4-hour ATR is 41. $30 is right there. I mean, if it's just a straight down day, then maybe. I don't know. A couple different ideas on this one. Like I said, I think if we can get above here, we go long. I'm good with that long. This is a target first, right? I kind of like the short here, right? Short at 90, 91. 91.81. Question is, do we going to have enough time before news? That's the biggie, right? That's the biggie. Are we going to have enough time for news? Because I do think that balance of trade 40 bits before. Man, we have two back-to-backs on that one. Eh. Yeah, I think this is what I'm gonna. I don't. Let's see. 65 would be a lot straight down without a retracement. If we can get to 65, if we can get down here, then yeah, I could be swayed to saying, hey, listen, this is a decent buy area. Like I said, I do think it's going to be some Aussie strength coming out, but a lot of these trades right now are more showing Aussie weakness than strength. So I don't know. That's just my opinion. My gut feeling is that we'll see some strength out of this one, but right now, on a technical basis, everything is more showing weakness. Euro dollar, okay, not surprised at all. Again, sloppy Harry Potter, but dropped. It based. It came back up. It is out. Again, no entry on that one, but there's your entry. Drop, base, up, straight down. Huh? Oh, you hold on. After that, if that's okay. Okay. Yeah. So nice little Harry Potter on that one. Again, all the data was pretty great, so good with all that. I think this is we do have a potential bounce coming on this one. Now this level right here, it is tested. It's not the first time it's been down here. There's a little bit of confirmation there. You can see it's already starting to take back again. Question is, with what we have going on with the euro, we do have a speech today, and again, initial releases shifted due to rescheduling. Yeah, it should be fine. We should. Later due to initial rescheduling. Okay, testifying for the annual report on Parliament. Okay, so yeah, so she's going to get blasted about some stuff. So all right, so that's fine. I think it's again, we know we have news coming up. Obviously, some testimony. There's going to be questions. A lot of it will be prepared ahead of time. She's probably going to talk about how things are probably going to be progressing a little bit forward, right? With interest rate rises in the ECB, right? They're not going to be in the recession, soft landing, all that kind of stuff. So I like this as an area. I do like the fact that it is 10:30 in the morning. It's absolutely justified to be down right now. I do think that there is a potential reversal coming in. So we're looking for something along the lines. And again, this is extremely sloppy, but obviously it's in near proximity. So it's easy to kind of talk about. Seeing a green, red, and then a green go just a little bit higher, right? Obviously important. Okay. So, let's see. Hold on. Let me pull up 4-hour. I had a note on this one. Yeah, we had another Harry Potter there. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. So now, again, jump to a 4-hour chart. This is a very, very big spike up. Okay. I think on a 2 hour. Yeah, 2 hour, which is the same thing. So we are looking for a break of this one. And again, one, kind of two. Again, this would be three if you don't count this one. This is two and ish, three ish. So we are kind of set up for this one as a continuation to the downside. So we know we got two levels. Um, is this the risk in this one right now is what's going to happen in 2 hours. Okay. Talk about aggressively controlling inflation. Again, I don't think I think the euro's at a place where I think the ECB is in a better place in the UK. I do think that they are going to continue to probably raise at least twice. I think they're going to be, they got to maintain the facade that they're going to be very, very strong with it. There's obviously the Russia contagion, but the biggest problem with the Russia aspect of it was like, oh my God, we're all going to freeze and not have enough gas over the winter. We're in the middle of February. We're starting to that ship is sailing at this point. So I do like a bit of a short in here. Now, where we set the Harry Potter matters. There is again, it's a large zone formed from the 2 hour and the 4 hour. We may be able to take this one and shrink this one down a little bit. I'd like to see where a base occurs. I'd like to use probably there, right? Probably there. I'll change it so it's orange. It's a little, whoops. Orange is a bit of a different color. Yeah, I'd like to use that level, but I want to see it base, right? So my concern, and again, this is kind of just, thinking out loud. I would like to set that again. We've already had one Harry Potter. I'd like to continue that. I would expect some profit taking. I'm actually kind of expecting it to hit somewhere in this level and kind of bounce up a little bit again. I'm wondering, let's see, will we get some help or where will we get the help at? Um, hmm, we'll get some help there. I wonder if it's going to use that whole thing. So this is kind of the setup. I want to see it. It's got a base in here the right way. It's got to survive the 1030 reversal. I do expect to pop back up again. I don't think we're going to get all the way back up to 107. I mean, maybe that's a 30 pip reversal in that one. But overall, again, it depends on what she says. Obviously, she could definitely screw this one up for me, but I'm looking at something along these lines is what I'm looking for. Okay. And again, this is an old level based off 4 hours and 2 hours. Okay. Okay, why is everybody messaging me? Hold on. Sorry, guys. It's another one of those like everybody's gonna message me. Okay. So this is what I'm looking for. This is a setup. I'd like to see it come out. I'd like to see the base. Again, it's got to survive the 1030 as well as the 12. Ideally, if we can get into the 106.55 after 12, when Lagarde is speaking, that's where we want to take this short. And again, it's a 10 for 30, so it's a small one. It's an old 4 hour level, and we had a nice burst through on the first side. Euro pound. So euro pound, you're seeing this one take off. We knew there was going to be some explosions. We talked about it. This one obviously didn't give as much of a telltale sign. And this one at 2 o'clock in the morning, we knew there was going to be fireworks. And if I had to look at this, you can say that, hey, listen, we kind of went up. And then what happened? Right? We hit like that, late midnight time frame. We shot down again. It's like, oh, this looks like it's going to be a buy. And that's exactly the result. Okay. Let's remove this. And again, this is why I said your Asian session is a little trickier. But there you go. That's what we had, right? So it didn't close up here. So that little, that short didn't necessarily matter. We weren't looking for that to hold. Again, 1, 2, 3. Look at the chop in this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, based, and then went through the top. So good. Let's pull that. Again, this is in the same proximity to the news, right? 8 pips in 2 hours. We can absolutely move it. So I would say look for a potential reversal. Again, a lot of profit taking. Again, this data was more obviously. This is a pound based move right now. It's this weakness right here. Okay. So question is, let's see. How much movement is that? Since the news, 77, it's got a 54 pip ATR. So kind of 1.5, right? Kind of 1.5, right? Um, she's speaking at, whoops, hold on. Right there. This one's okay. I would expect a reversal on this one. I'm not curious. I'm sure she's going to have to give us some European weakness. We're beyond where we should be for the day. So I would expect some reversal on this one. But we got the 61.8 all at the same level. Yeah. I think this one is probably more of an indicator of what we look at for the euro dollar, pound dollar. It's an okay level. Again, I would expect some profit taking, although I would expect her today to give us some euro strength, not European weakness. But she may talk about how we only need one more raise and we're done. And that may be the weakness that we need for the day. Because again, it's rallied up. It's beyond a daily ATR since this morning in 6 hours or 10 hours. I'm sorry, 6 hours, right? 8 hours in the middle. So we should see this one turn and roll back down again. Oops. Euro yen. Yeah, euro yen's also high. All right, so we got to adjust this just a little bit more. Again, remember, this is the 23. This is not an entry on the 23. This was just a continuation trade. Let's pull this from that level. Let's go all the way up. Now it's a level, so I think we watch out for it now. Talked about a sell. Let's talk about a buy here now. We'll watch out for that level. We can take this one off. That one is out. Go up 4 hour. There's our base. So we're in a racetrack. We're in this right now. Hasn't really given us the proper. I mean, I guess there's a little one there on 30-minute. Oops, sorry. Um, yeah, so this is an old Harry Potter trade that we talked about. I think this one's pretty decent. I don't know in the next 2 hours if we can get all the way up. It's going to need to move about another 60 pips, which is a lot. Now remember, this is a larger time frame zone. Again, my belief is that we would get some strong content, although a lot of the setups right now on the euro looking like they want to be euro short because of what we've seen in the overnight, but some of that is obviously the pound. So if you are long this one, again, this was a trade that was set up from before. Um, Hold on a sec. All right. Yeah, so if you're in the Harry Potter, make sure, again, at 12 o'clock, if you have not already moved your stop loss to break in, move it up. Don't take any additional risk on this one. With her speaking, like I said, everything is looking like it's going to be Euro week, but I think, again, my opinion is she's going to come in with a strong stance that, listen, we have it under control. We're going to raise 2 more times. Again, I think she'll surprise the market because, again, the global economy is not as bad off as it is. And I think Russia has been removed from the equation. So it looks, like I said, protect yourself on that one. Pound dollar, not surprised. No, we were talking about a break. You can see we got the breakdown. It never gave us the pullback. This one kicked in 2 o'clock this morning. Again, before news, the way that it was holding on top of the zone, this is one of those ones that, yes, the rules of the Harry Potter are a drop, a base, a pullback, and then a short. And again, Harry Potters are not designed for news trading. Okay. This zone was absolutely blown up, right? So much basing, hit, had sliced through, based on it again. Once it based right here, this is one of those trades you're like, it's basing before the zone. The sellers are forming before that zone, and then the news kicks in. This is one of those ones you could have pulled the trigger on it ahead of time and actually used it as a news-based trade. This was a nice runner, 48 pips, and you can see that the next base below, that's where it started to have some problems with. I think right now it comes all the way back down again, and this is where the potential reversal comes in. All right. I think this is where the potential reversal comes in. Now it is 10:30, so again, this is where we will see pops. I'm not sold into again, this is not a number one entry for me. If you are going to take this one, make sure it's a number three entry. Or again, basically by number three, I either want a confirmation, a green, red, green, confirming that, or I want to see a failure to go lower in there. Right? It hits, comes back up again, and then pulls back down. That's where you pull the trigger on it. All right. Do not take it as a number one. I still think there's some risk involved with this one, but overall, I do see reversal. It's just been way too much weakness. Actually, since the news came in, since the news came in, that's 170 pips. It has a daily ATR of 123. So it is not 1.5 times, but it's in a range where profit taking will come in. A lot of those automatic sources will kick in. And again, great dollar news. So it's kind of like a double, right? Bad pound, good dollar. But we will see a reversal back again. And this is a potential error coming in at 119.77. Pound yen. So pound yen. What do we talk about? What happens? What's the trend before the news? There was the move right before the news. There was the news, and immediately a drop of 80 pips. Sorry, 80 pips. Since that news data came out, we're up 104, right? And again, laying on this old zone right now. So we'll remove that old zone. This was a pretty easy one in the overnight. Right? So even look at the 130 candle beforehand, straight up. So yeah, look at that. Asian session was down, and then that same reversal back up again. So yeah, pretty easy. Again, that's why understanding what the session rollover times are important. Right now, again, there's not much holding us down. This one will chop. There's a little bit of an area right here, and again, this has some influence from both the pound and the yen. I would assume that the pound weakness is probably going to start rolling out. The question is what's going to happen with the yen. Are we going to continue to see yen strength, or are we looking for this one just to continue to rock back down to the 160? Now, I would say for me, looking at this one right now, again with these sellers here, yeah, we will see some of this. I think overall, what probably happens is we probably come back down. 160 is such a big level for this pair. I think we probably come down and set ourselves right here. Is there a trade that we can take in there? Not really. I mean, the news trade was where you should have got the short today. At this point, I mean, yeah, there's some pops in here, but it's just grinding its way down lower, and there's no real buyers besides where we're at right now. I think it probably ticks down, and then again, we have a bit of a reversal level here. Again, everybody knows the pound is weak, but the pound will say something that will, again, try to start reinvigorating it again. Remember, the market's already priced in a pause, right? They know we're going to do 0.25 in a pause. Any good data right now at all, it goes up. There's not really much worse that can happen at this point for the pound if they are done, right? And again, we know the yen's not going to suddenly start raising interest rates. We know that we have nothing but yen weakness. They're going to maintain the same playbook. So, look at your odds. Will the pound say something good, or will the yen? It's probably going to be the pound. So you're good there. Dollar CAD, it's going. Now, dollar CAD yesterday, we talked about a break above this level. It went off at 2:30 this morning. I got the alert. I heard the alert. I rolled over and looked at the alert. Was waiting for a pullback. It didn't give us the pullback. It did go exactly. And we talked about, listen, there's a racetrack here. If we're able to break through, we already knew that the sellers that were holding this up here were gone. We wanted the conservative pullback. It based. and then was like, nope, just kidding. We're just going to keep going. So unfortunately, that's where your profit should have been taken. I just hit the profit target. So Brian did not get entry into this one, but I heard it. The alert went off, and that's why it's important to have alerts out there. And again, we weren't really super concerned after this slice through. We weren't, again, one of those ones. We were waiting for the conservative entry. We had to be a bit more aggressive. At 2:30 in the morning, I was not feeling very aggressive. Just letting you guys know. I was awake due to Kip, but I saw the alert, and I didn't take it. But it was an easy one. Again, 30 pips. I think the total movement on this one from that break was 56 pips total. We knew we were in a racetrack, and we knew exactly where we needed to go on the top side. So it was a nice runner. Yeah, it's a nice runner. And if you're looking at this, and again, we talk about color changes, right? And you can use color changes to predict your profit. There's a green, there's a red, there's a green, right? That green was above the red, doesn't matter. There's a red, you're like, oh, we're reversing. The green one above, invalidate it. There's a red, oh, that green one above, invalidate it. There's a big red. You're like, oh, did they close it out? Nope, because of the green. There's your red, the green one above. So technically, this one rode all the way back up again, right to where it should have. So again, missed trade. There's nothing we can do. I would expect this one probably to start basing here, turning around. We should see oil kind of kick back a little bit, get a little bit more strength. And again, this has been straight dollar strength. We've seen it. We should see some dollar weakness roll back in as well. But again, missed this trade. You would have had to been up late. At 2:30. Yeah, I was not feeling super aggressive on it, but it was the one we talked about yesterday. So maybe some of you guys caught it. Dollar Swiss. So dollar Swiss is rolling back up. Dollar Swiss, we were waiting for 92.77. It didn't get all the way back up there. It kind of did this little hookup. And again, 5:30 reversal, right? We basically saw, here's your 3 o'clock candle down to 5:30. Okay, so that's what it looked like. There was your opening to 5:30. Well, there's a level of basing right there, and it ran right in your 5:30. And here you go. 1 to 3 is right there. Okay. 9 for 27, nothing crazy. But that's what, the 5:30 time frame looks like. Okay. I still like this. I still think we wait for the 92.77 to get short this one, but this was just, a trend continuation. Nothing crazy. Okay. Do 1 inch, but get cheap. Next year is 2 inch. Okay. I asked a buddy of mine about the refereeing thing. I'm like, hey, I don't know why referee charts are different, but am I looking for a 1 inch or a 2 inch? And his response was, do 1 inch, but get cheap. Next year is 2 inch. I'm like, okay, thanks for making this more difficult. Lovely. All right. So yeah, wait for this one to come back up. At this point, there was a nice little trade in the overnight, but it's gone right now. There's nothing we can do with it. I think we wait. And again, vice versa, as we start tearing down again, there probably is a Harry Potter trade in this one as well. But it's got to come back down and start basing. And I want to see where the base level comes from. I wouldn't use the same one because we do have a little bit extra right here. But yeah, I think this rolls back down with the dollar selling. Dollar yen. There you go. This one got a little bit of a pullback, and again, it came much, much lower. Yesterday at 12:30 is where it hit its peak. This one made it to a 1 to 1.7. Probably a stop out of break even if you took this one long. It wasn't the cleanest entry, right? And actually, yeah, I guess your entry was here. So yeah, probably stopped out of break even. It ended up going exactly where we thought it would go to, higher. It just needed some of the sellers down here, which again, crappy buyers. I'm sorry, for this one. So right now, let's run this all the way up. Let's see if anything matches up. It's pretty decent. And there's some of that basing there. I like that basing. But overall, we're shooting for 135. There may be a slight reversal, but I'm waiting for 135. I think that's our main target. If we do turn and roll, I think we probably have another level sitting there that we could potentially take longs off of. But I'm not interested in the short and the dollar again until 135. I think right now it's got a pretty clear path. It's got 80 pips to go. I think that's where we wanted to move to. Okay. Let's go over to oil. So oil, you can see this level again, the 77.64. It spiked down, came right back up again from that Harry Potter yesterday. It came back up and started basing that level again, kind of reestablishing itself, and then again took that collapse again. Found the same buyers at 77.40. I'm actually surprised that it hit again, but I think that's fine. And then came back up, and we're kind of hitting those same guys right now, and it's more or less choppy back and forth. My take on oil right now is with everything else in the red today. Again, retail sales number being high, again, showing that the economy is doing well. That tends to bode well. Um, I did see there was an article out last night that I saw that mentioned that shale fracking and shale, I guess new permits or whatever it was, fracking and shale, basically. Um, they're going to be at like not at all. I don't know if it was an all-time high, and I may be misquoting this one, but I know it was one of the things. It was very kind of contradictory, right? Because the U.S. is trying to increase demand. That the amount that we were going to be pulling from shale and I guess fracking was going to be at a 20-year high, 10-year high, something like that. It's going to be at a high, so it's interesting. The political party that is very green, greenhouse effect, all that stuff. We are going to be doing. They've approved or whatever it is. We're going to be having like record highs of frail and shacking or fracking and shale to meet the demand, right? So yeah, forget that environmental stuff. It doesn't matter, right? Forget the environmental stuff. So I would say this one is probably going to hold. There's not a whole lot of news. Again, right now, let's see. What was the API number? Let me see. API oil inventory report. Um. Oof. Well, that's interesting. That's kind of a big number. So let's actually let's go in on this one. Mm, yeah, it's pushing up to a level. Actually, on the one, it's not as clean. It's not basing, but look at this. Mm, Yeah, it's kind of how we're set right now. Now it does need a hold in that level, and it's actually kind of hit that level already, but had a decent push off of it. So right now, and again, everybody knows this. Um, Kind of a big build in supply, right? Forecast is point 0.2 or 0.32, and the actual came in at 10.5. Those are the kind of releases we like. Let's see. What is the 1.5? So I mean, they're saying higher. So yeah, this comes in at like a 6 or a 7. That could be an initial drop, pretty quick drop on that one. So yeah, there's a little bit of oil trade in there today. But overall, I think oil is going to stabilize itself here. I do think again, I think oil's got a difficult spot right now with everything going on. Again, Ford made comments yesterday about their layoffs. The layoffs were coming. Again, they made some grave errors, but the layoffs were coming because they were putting more emphasis into electric. Right, that's why the layoffs were happening. Um, they were non-electric layoffs for layoff hires or something like that. So we know where that is going. So yeah, not a surprise. But we'll see how that comes. Right, there's a little short option there. Natural gas. So natural gas, again, we were up big yesterday. We were sitting up in this area. We talked about how we wanted you know, 263 was ideal. Now, again, we see where the entry coming into this one is at. You can see there's your red, there's your green, there's your red right there. I'll box it off so it's easy to see. Right? Red, green did not go above, and red. There's your trigger. So if you want to use that to establish your zone, and then we touched, and there's your, again, the first time we had a green, red, green would have been right here. So, yeah. And in actuality, you should probably trail this one down to there, but, I'm on a 5 minute. I don't need to be on 5 minute. Yeah, there you go. So, and actually, in this case, the green, red, green would have came in there, which just happens to be our spot there. And again, this one is out. There's your 1 to 3. So we talked about it being again huge day yesterday. We were looking for a reversal. We said wait for a confirmation. We wanted the 6 or the 263, but again, if we got a red, green, red, look for that one. There's your red, green, red. There's your confirmation. There's your 1 to 3. And if you didn't hit the 1 to 3, guess what? This one actually made it all the way down at one point to 1 to 5. So I mean, a lot of opportunity in natural gas. And again, look for those big days that are out of the ordinary. 1.5 is fine. When you see a 6 or a 7, that's where you're looking for reversals without a doubt. Now looking at gold. Okay, so gold, unfortunately, gold had all this movement that came in. Late last night, gold kicked in and just went ham. And then what did it do? It did nothing during that European session, which means we don't look for it to do much. The reality is it had already moved ahead of time. Everybody kind of knew what the data was, and since that time, it hasn't done anything. And again, that can happen. We like being short from yesterday, and it's funny we're just literally rolling this bottom section here. So we're down at 8:30. We talked about being bearish for the week, so we're doing pretty good on this bearish standpoint, and our retail sales makes absolute sense why it's where it is. Silver again. Silver did a little bit more, but most of it again. The European market saw what was coming and literally tanked this thing at 2:30 this morning, and then it kind of rallied back a little bit, but it's just profit taking right now. It's not doing a whole lot, and yeah, yeah. So not much we can do. So let's erase this. Let's get this off. Let's get this off. Again, I think we look for 22 again. Maybe. Hold on. Maybe. Wait. Probably going to get front run here. It looks like. Right. Probably going to get front run there. Oops. Right there. So 2182. Look for a potential shorting area. Again, it came up in base, and that was kind of the restart. But the fact that if you take this most recent kind of high peak, and why did I use that one? Well, because it broke 2 levels here, right? This is more of a downtrend. Yes, choppy, right? But when this broke 2 levels here, a level here and a level here, shows you there was a little bit of a bunch of breaks, right? So again, looking at that one right now. All right, 2182. What got here? Got the boys are up. Ooh, look at that. Let's see what we had this morning. Again, VIX deteriorating, but popping a little bit. Dollar, obviously, the dollar taking off where it looks. See, I told you, 104. It's having problems, right? It was slow to pull back. It rallied and then kind of pulled back again. 104 is going to be a sticking point. So again, that dollar weakness that we've seen in a lot of trades, this is what we're looking for on dollar weakness, right? If it's unable to go any higher right now, the profit taking will be like, okay, maybe I'll take profit now. And it's 10:30. This is where that reversal comes in. Let's see what some of these look like. Let's go down that 15-minute chart. What is that? Again, is today the best day for opening print with 8:30 something like retail sales? Not ideal, but let's see what we got. The 9:15 was red, the 9:30 was green. There's your confirmation. Oh, it did hit. What I was maneuvering for, I'm using the bottom. So you could do that, but that doesn't actually box in any opening closes. There's the nearest box open and close. There's your confirmation. There's your short. You may say like, short, why'd you take it short? Well, because that's the direction that it was heading in. I do not think it is out though. 1, 2, and nope. 3 is right there. So you're still positive, but it got pretty close. So again, an entry, you've locked in profit at this point. You may have taken it out. This one made it to a 1 to 2.77. Are you going to risk 2.77 to make 0.25, right? Or 0.23? No. So you're probably throwing that one pretty close as it got in there. So, yeah. There you go. So there's one. Let's see, NQ. Ooh, God, look at this. Bang, 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 bang. This one was super ugly, too. 9:15 is red. So, again, you would say, okay, we're looking for a green. Unfortunately, I'd love to say, hey, listen, this is definitely long. Let's see. Well, crap. I do. Well, so, yes, this is technically confirmed. This is the 8:30 news candle. There's your overnight base. There's your confirmation off the 8:30 news candle. There's your touch at 9:15. So opening print is technically up at the 9:15. If you hit the entry, that's kind of where you can take it from. This is probably like a B-rated setup. I can tell you it did work. Just by, again, visually you can see it. There's your 1. There's 1 to 3. I could adjust this a little bit, but you can see it went well past. Right? Now, is this best practice? Taking a new spike down that goes pretty much 80% of the way through the zone. Is that best practice? Not really. Does it meet the rules? Yeah, it was the overnight confirmed zone. It was formed at the European Open. It was touched at the 8:30 candle. I don't like that it touched, but it did rally off of it very, very fast, and it did touch it right within 15 minutes of the open. So it did meet all that criteria. I mean, is it the best setup? Not really. I mean, it's just kind of chopping sideways. I mean, this is whip down, whip up, whip down, whip up, whip down, whip back up again. It's basically just sideways. But again, there was a small trade that you could have taken there. So yeah, I mean, YM. Let's see what we got for YM. The 915. Yeah, like the 915 candle is red, followed by a green. Yeah, it didn't touch. I would say that there's probably a base sitting right there, right? Didn't touch, and then downside, it didn't touch, right? It missed. The 10 o'clock candle missed. 8:30 spiked down, but there was nothing. Yeah, so no entry on YM. It didn't hit either two confirmed levels. And let's see what we've got here. 845. That would have to be there. Maybe, but that's too much risk. 1, 2, 3. The 915 was red, followed by the green. Eh. This one was pretty ugly. You know, you can say, listen, there's a touch that comes in there, right? It did touch, but it's kind of a lot. I don't. The touch is not really the best. It touched 845. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, you can see that it hit and went down. I don't like how much space this was. This seemed like a lot of risk to me. Yeah, you only made it to 244. Right. You made it to 244 before it got stopped out. So yeah, this just seems like a lot of risk, right? Had it been like there, if that was the confirmation, then I'm on board. Then I like it. Taking it there, because again, that's the closest. I mean, I guess you could have taken it there, but that's pretty risky, right? I really like to box the candles off. That's just very large candle wise, right? It's big compared to a lot of these candles, right? This good with, this, sorry, that not good with, but that's where the confirmation came in. If we took it from just the confirmed, well, see, look, if you did it off the confirmation here, it did touch. Let's see. I don't think that made it either. 295. So almost. So if you would have done it off the just where the confirmation touch was, once again, bisects the candle, which I don't like to do. 1 to 3 was right there. Look how much he missed the buy. It was 295. So you may have backed a little bit off of it, but this risk, yeah, like I said, I don't like the risk level. And the candle drawing was not good. So yeah. So again, a very weird lot of chop back and forth. There was the one little trade in there, so it's all right. Right, it's all right for open. Oh, it's 10:32. Let's see. Oh, we're out of the trade, by the way. There you go. There's your short trade. So let's see what the number was. Wow, 16.3. Look at this. We're like, wow, that's kind of a big number over here. 16.3, baby. Well, we called it. There you go. There's your short trade. So well out. Well out. And actually almost went down to where the other side was. So, but there you go. Trade is out. Right? We talked about that short. Not bad. 14 for 48 in the other direction. So there you go. There's your trade of the morning. All right, let's go ahead and do the drawing for today. So I got 6 of you in, 8 entrants in. We're definitely missing some people today. Who the heck are we missing today? Ernest is not in yet, although I think he's here. Jeff is in, Ecky's in, Marina's in, Will's in, Nero's in. Who the heck else are we missing? Hmm. It shows you he's buying 2 tickets, but it only shows one over here. I don't know. All right, we'll close it down. All right, I guess somebody is sleeping today. All right, winner of today's drawing is Marina. Marina does it. All right, let's go to leaderboard. Let's give her 25. So Will did not double up today. Oops, 24. Will, were you in today? No, you were in for 2. So I'm telling you, it never. I gotta tell you, you have the worst luck, right? Days that you will put extra tickets in, you never seem to double up. When you go with the ones, you seem like you do well, right? It's just weird how that works out. Earnest loses and doesn't. I know, right? Hey, you don't play the game, you can't win, right? You don't play the game, you can't win. So nice little one there. So all right, with that said, I'm out of here, guys. I will catch you tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. And again, let me get all this junk out of the way. Watch it. The ECB is speaking in the next hour and a half. And again, tomorrow morning, PPI is big. It's bigger than CPI. Expected to be good. We'll see where it goes. God, 16.28. Wow. That's big. That's a big one, man. That's a big one. So, all right, I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you then. Take care. Hey, how you doing? Sorry about that. I was. Yeah. I found that.